Hey everybody, welcome back to Rebel Media. On this episode, we're going to be exploring the Winchester Stonewall Cemetery, and we're going to be exploring some of the histories of the people who are buried there. So make sure you wait till the end of the video. I got some cool stories to share with you guys. Put some time into this one. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hey guys, welcome to Rebel Media. Today we're in Winchester, Virginia, and you're not going to believe what I found totally on accident. It was Confederate Memorial Day yesterday, so they really go all out here. Shout out to the town of Winchester. We got our Mississippi boys. In this section, there are two fallen soldiers from the University Grays. They were Company A of the 11th Mississippi Infantry Regiment during the war. They saw a lot of action in some of the most famous and bloody battles. The University Grays were college kids that left their university on May 1st, 1861 to go and fight in the war. In the Louisiana section, the monument reads, "To the soldiers of Louisiana who died for the South in the Valley Campaign. This monument has been erected in the memory of their noble, daring, and heroic endurance in their country's cause. They died for the principles upon which all true republics are founded. Sleep in peace with kindred ashes of the noble and the true, hands that never failed their country, hearts that never baseness knew. Remember their valor, keep holy their sod. For honor to heroes is glory to God." This structure right here was erected on May 26, 1902 by the Turner-Ashby Camp No. 22 of Confederate veterans. There's a plaque on the other side that reads, "In fond remembrance of our friend, a true Southern gentleman, Robert Bob Malin, Confederate historian and author and educator. He wrote a book, and I was able to find it on Amazon. Here it is." As I continued exploring, I came upon a section of unknown Confederate dead. Here stands a large obelisk made of Italian marble with a Richmond granite base, which stands over the graves of 829 men known only to God, lost to history. Unknown dead from the Winchester battlefield. The inscription on the monument reads as follows: "Erected AD 1879 by the people of the South to the 829 unknown Confederate dead who lie beneath this mound, in grateful remembrance of their heroic virtues, and that their example of unstinted devotion to duty and country may never be forgotten. Who they were, none know. What they are, all know. On fame's eternal camping ground, their silent tents are spread, while glory guards with solemn round this bivouac of the dead." Got our Texas boys, Tennessee, Maryland. "To the memory of her sons who fell on Virginia's soil, unheralded, unorganized, unarmed, they came for conscience' sake and died for the right. Alike in blood, alike in faith, they sleep alike the last sleep of the brave." There was so much history here to explore, but since I had found this place on accident, I didn't have all my research lined up, but I'll definitely be coming back. No, you can't have that. Fixed up. One of the graves I wish I had known to look for was that of Mary Greenhow Lee. She was a feisty Southern gal who got banished from Winchester by Sheridan for spitting tobacco juice on Yankee soldiers as they walked by. She also kept a journal of the happenings in Winchester, which is wonderful to read and gives you a very good insight into what times were like here. Next, I came upon the Georgia Monument, which read, "Erected in 1884 by the people of Georgia to 290 of her sons who lay in this cemetery. Go, stranger, and tell it in Georgia that we died here in obedience to her law, 1861 to 1865. When duty called, they came, and when country called, they died. The brave never die, being deathless, but change their country's arms for more, their country's heart." Here's a cool story I found out about after the fact, gang. Captain Mitchell here, this marker was left in his honor. His body is not underneath. They think that his body is buried in with the unknown dead in the other section of the cemetery. He was wounded at Gettysburg, and he was killed fighting in the Third Battle of Winchester on the 19th of September, 1864. I also found a letter that he had written to his wife shortly before he was killed. At the end it says, "Darling, you will love your husband, won't you? He loves you above everything else in this world. Let us both be happy and secure in each other's love, with our hearts filled with love and tenderness for each other. What harm can befall us? Let us hope that we too will soon be reunited. My darling life, won't we be so happy? I covet no wealth, no riches, no fame, nor glory, nor anything to save the privilege of the living undisturbed with the wife of my choice. That is all I ask. Will it be granted me? And now, my darling, your husband must say goodbye. Write as often as you can, every day, if it is not asking too much. You will always be loved with the whole heart and soul of your husband." Dr. Coke Glover here was killed in the Battle of Winchester, and next to him, Cicero H. Young, who was a member of the Thomas County Rangers who died in Winchester while marching to Maryland in October 1862. The monument in the Stonewall Confederate Cemetery here is the grave of the brothers Turner and Richard Ashby. Turner Ashby was called the Dark Knight of the Confederacy, and he was Stonewall Jackson's cavalry commander until his death in 1862 at the Battle of Harrisonburg. Turner, his brother, is buried with him, who was also killed in a skirmish in Harper's Ferry in 1861. Turner Ashby is one of my favorite Confederates, and his story deserves to be told in another video. I'll be sure to do that soon, but for now we can't get too deep into it. But here's his final resting place. Robert Daniel Johnson was a lawyer before he volunteered to fight in the war. He made it all the way up to lieutenant colonel. This man saw a lot of action. He was wounded in the Battle of Seven Pines, and then he returned to fight in the Maryland campaign. He fought at Antietam, South Mountain, Chancellorsville. He was wounded at Gettysburg. Then he came back. He fought in the Overland campaign of 1864. He had a third wound at Spotsylvania. He fought in the Third Battle of Winchester, the Battle of Fisher's Hill, the Battle of Cedar Creek. He was tough as nails, but he survived the war, went back to being a lawyer in North Carolina, and eventually was a banker in Alabama. He died February 1st, 1919. This guy is pretty unbelievable. He was a mayor before the war. He fought in the Battle of Gettysburg, where on the first day of the battle he had made an ill-conceived charge on the Federal position that was repulsed with severe losses. Every officer in the North Carolina unit was killed or wounded except for one. He was shot through the mouth and the neck and was captured by Federal forces. He remained in their captivity while recovering from this wound and was eventually exchanged again. When he rejoined his regiment, he was promoted to colonel, and on the Third Battle of Winchester, he was shot in the foot. The surgeons were going to cut his foot off, and he said, "I'll live yet to dance on that foot." He was hobbled by the wound, but he still led his men in engagements at Auburn and Morton's Gap. Unfortunately, the wound would prove fatal, though. He died on November 6, 1864, after the crushing Confederate defeat at the Battle of Cedar Creek. Isn't it just amazing? This is just one cemetery, and these are just a few stories from just a few of the men in this one cemetery. The war holds so much history and so many stories of these men, and this is why we need to continue to honor them, learn their stories, and celebrate our shared American history together. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If I earned it, please be sure to like and subscribe, and maybe share it with some friends who would enjoy this sort of content. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. As always, I appreciate you. This is definitely one of my favorite cemeteries that I've ever been to. So if you're in the Winchester area in Virginia, stop by here and check this place out.